What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Machiavelli, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. None other than Sadhguru himself. Sadhguru reveals the secret to a blissful life. Coincidentally, because I just reacted to a video similar to this, which is like right here. Reveals what he's afraid of. And that kind of went into living a blissful life, if you know what I mean. So without further ado, man, let's get it.
I have joy in my life. What is that? Have you stored it in a balloon or a box or where? I'm asking. There's no such thing as having joy. You can become joyful, you can become loving, you can become blissful. But if someone can determine whether you can be happy or unhappy, somebody can make you peaceful, somebody can make you… put you into turmoil, this means you are deeply, deeply enslaved. This enslavement has happened simply because you have not taken charge of your faculties. But it took me a certain amount of time to realize how invested people are in their miseries. They're so invested that even if you show them the greatest possibility, they don't want to leave what is familiar.
Oh, he is not lying. Some of you guys out there are so negative and so infatuated with being negative and being miserable. Somebody can show you the most beautiful and take you out of that element. Whatever made you so miserable and angry and disappointed and whatever, somebody can take you to a whole nother country to see something new, meet new people, new girlfriend, whatever, right? And you'd still be in that mode of, no, I'm angry. I'm miserable. I don't want to meet nobody. I don't want to go nowhere. Take me back home to my where I was first miserable. I will never understand that. Ever.
Well, they're capable of suffering what happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And of course, they suffer what may happen day after tomorrow already. So this means that they are not suffering life.
All the activities that we perform are in some way targeted toward a happier tomorrow. A few of us use wealth, relationships, or success to get there quicker. Though there are blissful moments in life, they are often short-lived. Once a person experiences these blissful moments, the desire to have them again grows stronger. During an interview, Sadhguru shares eye-opening facts about how those blissful moments can be owned for life. Shall we see how?
So
Am I possessed with love? Can I be possessed with love? Can I be possessed by joy?
You can possess love, why should love possess you?
Oh, okay.
You can possess love, joy, ecstasy in your life. You're capable of possessing all this in your life.
I don't think she understood that because that kind of threw me through a ringer too when he said that. I was like, wait, what?
Love, why should love possess you?
Oh, okay.
You can
Right.
possess love, joy, ecstasy in your life. You're capable of possessing all this in your life. These must be your greatest possessions, that you're blissful. People think they have a car or a home is a big possession. No. The dollars are not the best possession to have. They're useful.
Right.
They're useful to create a certain amount of comfort for us. But the best possession to have is blissfulness. You don't have to be possessed by it, because…
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And I don't know if you…
See, we are looking at these dimensions of life or aspects of life as some kind of quantities or some kind of commodity that we must have it.
Yes.
Happiness is not something that you will have, joy is not something that you will have. You just can become happy, you can become joyful, isn't it? I have joy in my life, what is that? Have you stored it in a balloon or a box or where? I'm asking. There's no such thing as having joy. You can become joyful, you can become loving, you can become blissful. So becoming blissful, becoming joyful, becoming peaceful, what does it mean? See, if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. Everybody wants it. Body is pleasant right now, this is health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to create pleasantness in your surroundings, you need the cooperation of other forces and people. Because creating pleasantness in the surroundings is a skill of a certain kind. You must be able to put many forces together, otherwise it won't work. But pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and pleasantness of energies are 100% your business, 100%. There's nobody else involved in this. But right now, we have handed this over to so many people that somebody can determine, someone else can determine whether you are happy or unhappy. If someone can determine what happens within you, would you call this slavery?
Yes.
It is the worst form of slavery. Somebody determines what you should wear, what you should eat, where you should be. This itself is called slavery. But if someone can determine whether you can be happy or unhappy, somebody can make you peaceful, somebody can make you… put you into turmoil, this means you are deeply, deeply enslaved. This…
I know every job around the world is gonna hate me for this. But, I mean, not just jobs in general are slavery. And I'm not saying that because they're 9-to-5s or because some of them don't pay as good as others. But really, when you think about it, at the end of the day, you could pass the interview, you can get the job, you can show up on time every day, you can, have a good attendance record, and they could still let you go. And keep in mind, when you first got that job, you were happy, you were excited. Now that you've lost it, or they laid you off, excuse me, now you're in turmoil. Now you're miserable. Now you're depressed. Now you don't know what your next move is gonna be. So it's crazy to even think that even now today where slavery should be over, we're still getting enslaved in some sort of shape, form, or fashion. Even certain jobs, you have to have a certain dress code. You can't dress how you want to dress. You can't dress casual. You can't dress in a black tee and jeans or sweatpants, Probably unless you're a coach. I don't know. But, still, you guys know what I mean, man. And then there's certain people on your job that may say one thing because they know it's going to make you happy. Then they might tell you something else that's going to make you miserable. So it's just kind of a way of controlling your inner body and your emotions and the way you think. I couldn't let nobody do that to me, man. I just couldn't.
enslavement has happened simply because you have not taken charge of your faculties. Your own thought, your own emotion, your mental and psychological structures and your physical body not taking instructions from you.
Exactly.
If your mind was taking instructions from you, would you keep it blissful or miserable?
Absolutely blissful.
Absolutely blissful.
Peaceful, joyful.
What?
Yes.
So when…
And see, that's exactly what I was just trying to say. If it's up to you, it will be blissful. But considering the fact that we're enslaved by what somebody else does, says, or what they want us to do, etc., this is what creates a lot of us not to go off, what we want our thoughts to be, or to be blissful, peaceful, joyful. Because we're not going with our own emotion. We're going with what someone else wants to see. You know what I mean?
this is the case, why such a simple thing is not happening? Can I tell you a small story?
Please.
This is not really a story, this is what happened to me. When I was just 25 years of age, one day I was just sitting on a small hill near my native town. I don't know, you may not be familiar with India.
A little bit. I've been once,
Oh.
but just to southern India. Yeah, in Mumbai.
Mumbai, okay. Oh, just the wrong place to go.
No, I'm coming back, and I'm
Mumbai
going
people
northern
won't
India
like
next
it,
time.
but I'm just saying that's not India.
I'm
That's
doing North
Mumbai.
India next time. As soon as
No,
everything
no, you
clears
must
up,
come
I'm headed
south.
back.
In south…
I'm coming south?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mumbai
What
is
part?
not really south, it's somewhere central India. Further
Central.
south is where we are, and it's a more beautiful part of India. North is just plains, south is full of mountains and…
Is it near like Goa?
Yeah, Goa and further down.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I wanna come to Goa too.
So this is a city called Mysore, where there's a small hill in the town, and I was just sitting there and suddenly I realized, suddenly I exploded into a state where every cell in my body was dripping ecstasy. I realized if I just don't mess with my mind, I'm ecstatic.
Yes.
Then after a few weeks of this experience, that it became such a profound experience for me, and then I decided, I was 25 years of age, and I decided and made a plan. In the next 2.5 years, I will make the whole world ecstatic. Because it's so simple, you don't have to do anything. If you simply sit here without messing around with your mind, you're ecstatic. So on that day, the population was just 5.6 billion people. So I thought in 2.5 years, I made a plan how I will make the whole world ecstatic. See, now it's 39 years. Yeah. Well, people say we've touched around 1 billion people, but that's not my idea of the world. My idea of the world is 7.6 billion people. But it took me a certain amount of time to realize how invested people are in their miseries.
I buy the same products you do, only I get them much cheaper. I save hundreds of dollars a month by doing this one.
They're so invested that even if you show them the greatest possibility, they don't want to leave what is familiar.
Yep.
Exactly, exactly.
So why is this happening to the world? Why so much suffering? See, physical things that happen to us, there is war.
I know this is completely off topic, but as always, I gotta bring a little bit of off topic into the situation that makes some people understand this a little bit better, just in case, they didn't understand how I worded it before. Let's say, I know some guys are out there in the world going through this. Let's say you're a guy and you like this girl, you like this woman, right? But she has a toxic significant other. He beats on her, he hits her, he cheats on her, etc., right? She can meet the most nicest guy in the world. She might talk to him, maybe. But lo and behold, she will not leave her toxic situation for this better guy. There's so many men out there that are going through that, bro. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I had to pretty much, give you guys an example.
Or there is famine, there is calamities, these are different things. Well, this causes physical pain. But right now, if you look at human beings, only about 2 to 3%, maybe 5% of suffering is because of physical causes from outside. 95% is self-inflicted suffering. Physical situations can change, they need not cause suffering to us. They're all worried about the economy, they're worried about the future, they're worried about something. I'm not saying it is not an issue. All I'm saying is, see right now what could happen at the most? Maybe in another 6 months' time or 1 year's time, we may have to live like how we were living 10 years ago. Or maybe 20 years ago.
Yep, I was about to say, probably even longer.
20 years ago, believe me, life was not very bad, it was good.
Right.
So, essentially, when the caveman lived here also, he was also among them also some were happy, some were not happy. That is not because of the conditions in which they lived in, it is because of the condition of their minds, their ability to use their own faculties. What is it that human beings are suffering if you look at it? Well, they're capable of suffering what happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And of course, they suffer what may happen day after tomorrow already. So this means that they are not suffering life, they are suffering two most important faculties in a human being, that is a vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. They are suffering these two things, which is most unfortunate, because what essentially you're saying is, this evolution of my intelligence is my problem. Right now, human beings are essentially suffering their own intelligence. If they had half the brain that they have, they would sit here peacefully, no meditation would be needed. If they had the brain of an earthworm, they would sit very peacefully. So essentially you're complaining, why have you given me so much intelligence? We're telling nature, why so much intelligence? So in Florida, people soak it in alcohol every 3 days. In the week, they keep it in alcohol, 2 days, they put other kinds of chemicals, to keep the brain preserved so that it's not working too much.
Yes, that's exactly right.
So
That's exactly right. I love
essentially,
that.
you did not figure out how to handle your own intelligence.
Exactly.
So, the fundamental thing is, you have been given the most complex and sophisticated machine on the planet, that is this human mechanism. But you are trying to blunder through your life without even reading the user's manual. This is the only problem human beings have. Outside problems, we will deal with them to the extent that we can, that's all we can do. But 95% of the human suffering is all generated from within. Self-help, it's called.
We will get what we're looking for only when we look in the right place. We have an abundant intelligence. If we could only learn to harness it, we can have more than the fleeting joy of possessions and other people's approval. We can have lasting happiness and bliss. This is just one of the videos we have in store for you. Here's our latest video that might interest you. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep them coming. Remember to let us know your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the next video.
Yeah, man. You guys gotta get in control of your own emotions, man. I hope you guys learned something from that, because I know I did. As a matter of fact, I always do, really. I'm pretty sure you guys do in a way, since, I react to what I learned, pretty much. But anyway, man, that's the end of that video. If you guys like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I love you guys, man. You guys have a blessed one, a safe one. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.